Welcome back to Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast. I'm your host, David, and with me as always is my co-host, Connor.
Howdy ho.
Howdy ho. Today we're talking about Season 2, Episode 2, Simpson and Delilah. First air date, 18th of October 1990.
Very good.
What was this episode about, Connor?
Oh, you've thrown it to me. You've thrown it right in my face. You've gotten it ready and you've shoved it right to me. Well, Homer's sitting at the beginning of the episode. He's playing a little quiz show on the television with Bart, Lisa, Patty, and Selma. I think it was, what was it, Elementary School Challenge or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. And he got one right.
Two. He got two right.
Did he get two? All right.
Well, there's the one where the Italian flag is made up of red, white, and what other colour?
And he says
it's like
four
black,
colours.
Blue, yellow, green, and then it's green, and he goes, "Oh, I got that one right."
Yeah.
Aye. And then an advert comes on the TV for a miracle hair growth formula.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh my god, hair! I'm bald." So he goes out and he goes, "I'm going to go and I'm going to get that hair growth formula." And they say, "Well, it's $1,000 per kit per payment." Per bottle.
Oh, well, you get the head massager and
the anti-gravity boots.
That's the ones, aye.
I don't know, because he says later on in the episode, when Bart spells it, Marge says, "Why don't you get another bottle?" He goes, "Well, I don't have another $1,000.
It's also Homer, though.
That is true, he is a moron.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I can't afford that," and he's sobbing, and he's like, "Forget you, pal." And then cut to him at work the next day, and he's talking to Lenny and Black Carl. I'm going to call Black Carl for this episode because there's another character called Carl.
Right, yeah.
Just for this episode.
Yeah.
And he's like... And then I told him, "Hey, forget you, pal." And Lenny and Carl are like, "Well, listen, Chrome Dome, why don't you just put your hair regrowth formula on the company insurance? Spell it to Mr. Burns, essentially." So he ends up doing that and he gets his hair growth formula, and like a miracle overnight, a miracle of biblical proportions.
Yeah.
The next day he wakes up with very long hair.
Yeah, full head of very long hair.
And he's running through the streets like he's in It's a Wonderful Life, and he's going, "Good morning, old people sitting on the porch," from that season 1 episode where I tried to kill myself, Homer's Odyssey.
Yeah.
"Good morning, funeral goers," and they're like, "Oh, good morning, whatever." Meets another guy who's also had
yelling.
Demoxidil?
Yeah, Demoxidil.
Close enough.
Something like that.
And he's like, "Wow, we both have hair. Fuck me." Goes to his old barbers that he's not been to for 20-25 years, gets a horribly 70s haircut. It looks like a Lego piece.
It does. It does look like a Lego clip-on head.
Yeah. That
sort
classic
of that clip-on hair.
The hair that Han Solo had in the old Star Wars games, you know? But it's just like a round piece.
Yeah.
And then he's at work with his new hair, and Mr. Burns sees him on the CCTV camera, and he's like, "That strapping young man. We do one promotion for one worker every year. That strapping young man with a full head of hair, he's getting it." So Homer gets it. He's trying to find a receptionist, and that's when Carl comes in. Carl, deep voiced, handsome Carl, who it takes Homer by the reins and leads him and gets him a good suit that isn't lime green and it actually fits and covers up how fat he is. Gets him a much better haircut. Helps him with his speeches and his confidence, and makes him successful as a whatever job he has now, board of directors or junior executive.
Junior executive.
God, I have remembered everything. And Mr. Smithers, jealous of Homer and his accomplishments, digs through his file and finds that he charged the $1,000.
Specifically jealous of the fact that he gets told by Mr. Burns to follow him around.
Gets to dry his hands.
Dry Mr. Burns' hands and then follow him around, standing just behind him.
And that's Smithers' job.
Exactly.
That he loves to do.
Yes.
Well, I lost my train of thought.
Yep. Sorry about that.
You fucking derailed me.
That's what I'm here for.
It's like that classic story that Charles Dickens was on a train that got derailed and he helped people. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I've ever told that story before.
I don't know.
I'll save it for Christmas.
Perfect. Oh, fucking hell.
Mr. Smithers, driven by his jealousy, looks up Homer's file and he's like, you charged the hair regrowth formula $1,000 to the company. Get fucked, mate. Get fucking fucked. You wee prick. They fucking fuck you up. Dead man walking. And he's like, you're fired. And Carl goes, actually, I was the one who charged it to the company. Takes the fall for Homer and gets fired himself.
And pays back the
And he
$1,000.
pays back the $1,000. So he leaves and Homer's like, Carl's gone, so now I have to write this speech myself. He can't help me with it. This big speech I have to give that I forgot to mention in my recap. He goes home. He's like, well, at least I still have my full head of hair. And then, oh no, oh my, Bart, in an attempt to turn himself into a beatnik and give himself a cool little goatee, has spilled the Demoxidil all over the floor.
Which is still glugging out of the
Homer
bottle.
could have caught that bottle and
he
had
could
like
have
half
picked
of
it
it
up
left.
and had half a bottle left, but we've obviously got to have him lose his hair. So chases Bart down.
Chases Bart down. He's ready to murder Bart. He's choking him, and Bart convinces Homer not to because he says that he loves him.
Yeah,
which is a lie.
Yes.
And Homer's like, well, I'm going to tell you something that's going to haunt you. Baldness is hereditary. You will be bald because I am bald, and Grandpa is also bald.
He says, I'm going to tell you 3 things that will haunt you for the rest of your life.
I'm summarising here.
What was one of them?
One of them was, you've ruined your father.
Yes.
You've made your family destitute, and baldness is hereditary.
That's it. Yeah.
I remembered everything.
Good.
It's all here in my fucking head.
Yep.
Oh, man. So the very next day, Homer wakes up. He doesn't have money to buy more of this magical liquid. And his hair's entirely gone the next morning. It fell out overnight. And
in the morning as well, while he was walking to the bathroom, because there was a hair trail.
Yeah. So he goes to work and Carl's there and he gives him the speech. He wrote him a speech. Got these cards from him and he's like, Homer, it was never the hair. It was inside of you all along. All the suggestions you made, everything you've done in this position, it was you. It wasn't the hair. And he gives him a big kiss on the lips and a nice pat on the ass as he's walking out the door. Homer goes out in front of the executives. He gives his speech.
A very good speech.
A very good speech. Makes very good points as well.
Very, very good points. Like that would have gotten him promoted to a board member of that company.
If he wasn't a bald loser with no hair.
Exactly.
Chrome dome, slaphead looking motherfucker.
Yes. And also because him having no hair ages the hell out of Homer.
Yeah.
He looks a hell of a lot older, which is mentioned multiple times.
Homer's not far off how old we are, really.
Realistically, no, he's not. He's got 2 young kids. Like, my older brother, he's like 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
And his eldest is literally about to be like 18. So
it's possible.
It is entirely possible for Homer to be around our age. And by our age, that could be anywhere.
Anywhere, because we're not going to say what it is.
Anywhere at all.
Maybe I'm 97 and you're 16.
I thoroughly doubt anyone is ever going to believe that one based on how many jokes you've made about how much older I am.
We've got a little Back to the Future thing going here.
Yes.
You've got to come back with me. I built a podcast out of a DeLorean. I figured if you're going to talk about The Simpsons, why not do it in style?
Exactly.
Mr. Burns calls Homer into his office. He's like, I should fire you because you're bald and your speech was a failure and everyone walked out. But I'm not going to, because Homer Simpson, I have male pattern baldness. Me, Mr. Burns. Look at these photos of me as a young man, and look at this photo of me when I was 18, 19,
Yeah.
and I lost all of my hair. He looks in those photos, and the story reminded me of Patrick Stewart, the actor.
Yeah.
Guy. And he's like, well, I'm not, I'm not going to fire you. I'm going to give you your old job back.
Yeah.
Homer thanks him, and he goes home depressed because he's back in his old job. He's back bald.
And he's back in his dead-end job, specifically.
His dead-end job. Everything is reset to what it was at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. It's sort of like it's kind of close to a fourth wall break in the fact that it's Homer acknowledging the fact that everything kind of went back to the
status quo.
Yeah. It's not quite wait a minute. This is exactly where I was before. But
it's as close as I think the Simpsons would have gotten at the time.
Yeah.
And he's very upset, and then Marge comforts him.
In the way that
sings him a little song that
women do.
Oh yeah, aye, that as well. And then the episode ends.
Very good.
Very good. That's the end of the recap.
Yes, aye. Well, it wasn't as long-winded as I usually do, at least.
Oh, it was
although I helped with the long-windedness.
Yeah, I noticed. I would have been finished so much earlier, but...
Yeah, I know. So, thoughts on the episode?
Fuck, you beat me to it. I can just edit you out. What were your thoughts on the episode?
I'm just picturing the fact that nothing, a bit of silence, occasional creak of a chair, and then you going, what are your thoughts on the episode?
I'll mute your entire track, mate. Watch me. Watch me.
There's just going to be about 18 minutes of silence while I tell them about the episode, about what my thoughts were on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really liked this episode. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know if there isn't a single show that exists that has like a bald center main character somewhere.
Sopranos.
That
Star Trek The Next Generation.
No. I'm meaning more along the lines of that then has an episode where they somehow, for whatever reason, have hair.
Yeah.
Or at the very least imagine the fact that they have hair. I'm talking about sitcoms here mostly.
Yeah. Is there an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation where Patrick Stewart gets hair?
I have no idea at all.
Well,
I was much more of a Star Wars man.
Me too. There's 1,400 episodes of Star Trek.
I can imagine at some point they're going to have to slap a fucking wig on his head.
You know they wanted to do that full time at one point?
Yeah, I had heard about that.
You can find out more.
He was a really young guy.
A goddamn joke, man. I was mid. Yeah, he was pretty young when he lost it. That's what I meant when I said about the Mr. Burns story reminded me of him. But if you want to hear more about Star Trek, you should listen to our other podcast, Set Phasers to Fun. A Star Trek podcast.
Oh man.
I loved this episode. I love the character of Carl.
Yeah.
Feels, especially now, I've just been watching season 34 because it just came to the UK. It feels like such a grounded episode where there's nothing inherently in this episode where it would have to be a cartoon. You could very easily have done this in live action.
Like I was saying, it's very reminiscent of pretty much every sitcom where there's a bald guy somewhere in it.
Aye.
That's pretty much existed. Like I watched a lot of Married with Children and things like that. And Al Bundy, he's not exactly bald, but he ends up with the long, luscious hair in like 3 episodes.
Also, there's an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Danny DeVito's character imagines himself with a full long head of hair and very long legs.
Yeah. So it's like a very familiar. It felt like it was a nice, easy watch.
Yeah.
Is what it was.
Very of its time, very in the best possible way.
Yeah. It's a very nice, easy watch. And I think the most dated thing about it was his haircut. his first haircut.
Yeah.
That was it.
I think
But
that's
what it's
supposed to be because he goes to the barber that he
And he
hasn't
says-
been to since the 70s
Yeah.
and says, give me the usual.
Give me your usual,
And he gets
yeah.
like the big thick sideburns and the
yeah, and the big sort
quiff
of
kind of thing going on.
puff.
Puff.
Aye.
piece. Yeah.
I don't know how the hell
The white man's afro.
4 cans of hairspray
Yeah.
in that thing.
The last thing, if you're a balding man and you get your hair back through miracle tonics and formulas, the last thing you want to be doing is putting a bunch of hairspray and chemicals in it. Because that's going to kill it again.
Especially with that ridiculously old barber that is able to immaculately emulate a 70s hairdo. So it's not going to be modern hairspray.
No.
He's going to be pulling out of a storage cupboard somewhere some 1965.
The same
bottle
can
of-
that was probably used on Homer's last haircut.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, that shit would melt through anything, probably.
Aye.
Yeah, no.
I guess it's not a storyline that we can relate to. You and I both have very thick heads of hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can't relate to the idea of being a bald man lusting after that miracle hair growth tonic.
No.
I've seen plenty of adverts for them though.
Yeah, aye.
I remember the really famous one here in the UK. It was like German coffee shampoo.
Oh,
And they were like, grab it now
It was
because
like
it's
caffeine
flying off the
shampoo and
shelves.
stuff. Yeah, yeah.
And it was
And-
never flying off the shelves.
No, it was in every discount store always
Aye.
for almost nothing. And,
For a good 3-4 years. I think now it's
Yeah.
just gone.
oh, yeah, I don't think you probably could still find it somewhere, but
Yeah.
not all that easily. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's weird.
Aye. But yeah, it's I think a topic that a lot of people can relate to. And even if you can't relate to it, you're aware of these.
But yeah.
Do you have any more thoughts on the episode? I think the issue with the episodes, if I was going to nitpick at it,
Hmm.
is that it is just an A plot. There's no B plot.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that Marge doesn't get much to do outside of
No,
support Homer.
Yeah.
Lisa gets nothing to do. She has one line, I think, in the entire episode.
Yeah.
Bart
Yeah.
only gets one thing to do, and that's try to be a beatnik.
Yeah. I think he's probably only got about 2 or 3 lines in this entire episode as well.
Patty and Selma have more lines. I forgot to mention in the recap that Patty and Selma are horny for hairy Homer.
Yes, yeah, because of Homer's long hair. So basically, when Homer and Marge got together,
Yeah.
Patty and Selma would have.
Wanted him.
Yeah.
And that's been retconned
Yeah.
since, because there's the famous prom episode.
Yeah.
And Patty and Selma, as teenagers, hate Homer off the bat.
Yeah. Maybe they dislike him because of the fact they like him.
Mm.
So they're like actively projecting they dislike him because they're aware of his interest in Marge.
But Marge, we'll leave the prom episode until we get to it.
Yeah. But hey, just saying,
It's something to think about when we do get to it.
yeah.
But there's a scene where he looks in the kitchen cabinet. Sorry, not the kitchen, the
bathroom cabinet.
The bathroom cabinet behind the mirror, and he has all these other hair tonics that have obviously failed.
Yes, aye. Well, he's got 2 strands of it. That's probably all the reason he's even
And
got those 2 strands.
He's got three strands.
He's got the zigzag around the back, and he's got his 2 over the top. But yeah, we've got a few of those.
Gorilla Man.
Gorilla Man, yeah.
Yeah. You know, that's something actually. When I was thinking about the episode as we were watching it, my memory of it was that Bart, when he goes to put the hair tonic on himself, he's not trying to make himself a beatnik. My memory was that he wants to make himself the Wolfman.
Oh.
And that he's pouring it like under his arms, on his chest and down his arms because he wants to become...
That would have made more sense for a child.
Yeah, I thought he wanted to be the Wolfman.
I'd have probably done that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Maybe I'm mixing up The Simpsons with my own childhood memories. Wanting to be the Wolfman.
Yeah, maybe.
But what else? What else do we have? The hair tonics. Do you remember any of the
We've got
ones?
You Wanna Be Hair-y.
Oh.
So you wanna be hair-y. I don't know.
He does want to be hairy.
He does. Bald Buster.
Oh yeah. Wasn't there one that had, it was like the male sex symbol?
Yeah.
And it was like something gay.
New gay.
That was it. Because it was
New gay.
N-U-G-A-Y.
Yeah.
New
Although
gay.
we don't see the full AY part.
You can't show the word gay on TV in 1991 or
nope.
1990.
1990.
Probably not.
And then there was like Hair Chow and some other one, something about Bater. I don't even know what the hell that one is.
Masturbator?
No, like Yulin Bater?
Could that have something to do with that famous actor? Yul Bremner?
Maybe.
You know the guy, Westworld. Magnificent Seven.
Ah.
Yul something. Famously
Yeah.
bald actor.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know, man. Don't know. But I think that was about all that we could remember in that cabinet. That might be all of it.
I know there were some other bottles, but I definitely saw like mouthwash.
Yeah, there was a mouthwash. There was a baby powder you mentioned. You saw that. You saw that one.
I was like, oh,
there's another one.
Baby powder. Yeah,
right, never mind.
That's baby powder.
That's just baby powder.
I think it's time for our famous segment. Ion Springfield. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Yes.
First appearance of Carl with a K.
Yes.
That's the Carl who helps Homer.
Tall, blonde, muscly dude.
Yeah.
That apparently has at least a little bit of a hots for Homer.
Well, we'll get more into that in trivia.
Very good.
I have some trivia about that.
Okay.
His voice was provided by Harvey Fierstein.
Right, yes. I definitely recognized the voice, but I couldn't put a name to it, to be honest.
You probably know him from Godzilla 1998. The Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie.
Yes.
He's his boss in that. That's him.
All right, yes, so he is.
Editor's note. Harvey Fierstein was never in Godzilla. Harvey Fierstein was in Independence Day. Whoops.
I completely forgot he was in that.
That's like a famous... We might have to cover that on the podcast because it has so many Simpsons actors in it.
Yeah.
It's Harvey Fierstein, who's Carl here.
Mm-hmm.
Hank Azaria is obviously a main character.
Yeah.
I think Nancy Cartwright, who voices Bart and Nelson and Ralph, she's in the movie. And Harry Shearer, who voices like Ned and Mr. Burns, he's in the film as well.
All right.
Cover it at some point.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Aye.
When we get to 1998.
If. First appearance, eh?
When we get to 1998.
Yes, when. First appearance of Jake the Barber.
Yes. The old guy.
The old guy who cut someone's hair. There was no one in this episode where I could be like, David, who is this character? Tell me. I'll give you the name of the character who had their first appearance and tell me who that is, like I often do to try and trip you.
Yeah, I know.
Trip you up.
Yeah. Jake the Barber.
Who was Jake the Barber?
He was the barber, Connor.
My
he was
God,
the barber.
You were really on the ball this time.
I was. I didn't even have to pause and think about it for a while there.
He definitely shows up in future episodes. I think he gives Lisa a haircut at one point.
Yeah, because it's something unisex barber or something.
Yes. Speaking of funny signs, when Carl takes Homer to get his new suit,
yes,
he takes him to the Royal Majesty for the
obese and...
Was it? I thought it was like portly or gangly. Was it?
No, it was obese.
Obese?
It was obese and...
Gangly.
Was it gangly?
I think it was gangly.
I thought it was another word for tall.
Gangly. That's tall.
No, another word for tall. I thought it was a different word for tall.
I'm sure it was gangly. You know, that's the store where President Taft got his suits. The Portly Gentleman store.
Yeah.
A little bit of topical presidential humour for a president who's been dead for over 100 years.
Yeah, that's the one.
Are we going straight into Three Blind Mice trivia?
I think we are. Is that all of...
That's it.
Okay, that's... Yeah.
There's not many characters in this episode.
Yeah, there's
a bunch
really
of new
not.
characters around the board meeting table, but not named, never show up again.
Yeah.
Fuck them. I'm not doing it.
We don't have the ability to just like sit there and describe them.
I'm not being like board member 1, board member 2, board member 3. David, who was board member 4?
Was he the one that Mr. Burns mistook as the...
That was board member 5. Were you even watching the episode?
No, I was not. Not at that point.
All right, here we go. This is Three Blind Mice trivia. I hope you're strapped into your seat. I hope you're ready to be rocketed up to the moon.
I am sitting on the edge of my seat, so not exactly strapped in, but...
Well...
It's good enough.
It's going to have to be.
It's going to have to be.
A conscious effort was made to have Homer's hairstyle be different in every scene.
I noticed.
Me too.
I noticed that his hairstyle was different in every single scene. Every single scene, yeah, pretty much. I quite like that. I like the fact that it was constantly changing up.
That scene where he chokes Bart and his hair goes all crazy. It's like usually a slicked back haircut at that point, and it goes all crazy. He has a real John Hamm look to him.
Yeah.
Very madman.
Yeah.
The episode title is a reference to the biblical story of Simpson and Delilah.
Mm-hmm.
Simpson has superhuman strength but loses it when his hair is cut off.
Makes sense. Yeah. I guessed the general reference with that title. I don't always get the title references, but for the most part, it's not too bad.
I'm familiar with that biblical story.
Yes, aye.
Enough to the point where I understood the reference. This episode features a kiss between Homer and Carl, which occurred a decade prior to US television's first real man-on-man kiss on Dawson's Creek.
I knew that Dawson's Creek had the first
live action
kiss, man-on-man kiss. Yeah.
But this is technically
the first. 10 years prior. That is, well, in America at least.
Yeah. I don't think there has been one in the UK yet.
No. Long before that. No,
I'm making
comedy
a joke.
sketches. Comedies. All right. I did not catch that even
my
remotely.
Joke was, we haven't allowed gay people to hold hands on TV yet. Not yet.
I didn't even catch that part.
Maybe by the time I'm in a retirement home, they'll be thinking about it.
So, like 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Carl is the first openly gay character to appear in the series.
Fair enough.
Because Smithers is obviously... I don't know if he's closeted, but he's not openly gay to the audience at this point.
I wouldn't say he's closeted, but I would say he's still hiding his feelings and all that kind of stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And you kind of guess, but it's not like out, you know.
Yeah, and he might be out in the world of the Simpsons.
Yeah.
But but
no one's referring at any point really to him in any sort of fashion that would allude to that though. So yeah, I would definitely say that this is accurate. It's pretty cool for 1990.
Very good. Second season straight in there.
Yeah. Good.
Homer cures his baldness with an expensive product called Dimoxinil.
That's what it was called.
I was pretty close.
Yeah, I think we called it Dimoxil. Or Dimoxidil or something.
I did more D.
Yeah.
This is a play on the word minoxidil, a standard ingredient in such real-life baldness cures as Rogaine. I didn't know Joe Rogan had a cure for baldness.
Did not either.
Maybe he should take it himself.
You'd have thought if he was ever going to grow hair back, he was going to do it because of the amount of testosterone that man takes.
Well, testosterone can also cause male pattern baldness.
It can also cure it, apparently.
Eldador.
According to whoever, depending on who you ask, I guess. If you're asking a scientist, they will probably be like, yeah, this is going to make you lose your hair.
Yeah.
If you're asking someone who's trying to sell you testosterone, then
I'll be like, let me tell you,
you're going to end up with a full head of hair, old boy.
You ever seen Superman? That'll be you if you take my fucking whatever fake bullshit pill that they're peddling now.
My cum dried up, ground up, and put in a pill.
They say it's their cum, but it's not even their cum. It's like a donkey's cum or something. Yeah. I hate all that fucking bullshit. All that
peddling nonsense.
Content. Aye.
Yeah.
Matt Groening had originally intended to design Carl to look like Harvey Firestein, who objected to the idea because he felt he did not look like gay people, how they're supposed to look. That's a quote. Firestein suggested that the character be made blonde and tall and gorgeous and skinny and given a beautiful place to live. Which I think is great. I think
that is nice.
I think that the voice really matches Carl as well. I know it's a weird thing to say because it's Harvey Firestein's voice.
Yeah. But I think...
and it does match Harvey Firestein in real life as well.
Yeah. But I really do think that... I like Carl. I think he's awesome.
This is his only appearance, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
They wanted to bring him back at points in the future, and I think Harvey Firestein said that it was never a good enough script to where it would warrant bringing that character back.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Dumont is an old phrase for a television. Mr. Burns also expresses his admiration for Rommel in this episode, who was a famous Nazi general.
Wait, when?
I must have missed that scene.
Are you sure that's this episode?
Yeah, it must be. I remember the word Rommel coming out of Mr. Burns' mouth.
Wait, was that when he was talking about some sort of documentary that he watched? After he got out of the bathroom, the executive toilet. Was that when he was talking about it?
He watched it on the Dumont, which is an old... You've remembered.
I remembered something about The Simpsons.
My God. This podcast is going to take off.
Fucking bear, dude. I'm putting in effort.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I remember him saying Rommel in that scene and being like, I can't process what he said because he's saying it in such an old-fashioned...
I did not click to that.
That's funny, though.
Oh, fucking Jesus.
The classical piece performed by the musicians at the executive bathroom is Claude Debussy's String Quartet in G minor, Op 10.
Very good. Very good.
Debussy.
Yes. I did.
Debussy?
Debussy? Yeah, Debussy.
Debussy. The kiss between Carl and Homer is the first male-on-male kiss to air on network television, though the Warner Brothers animated sitcom Mission Hill, 1999, which had Simpsons showrunners Bill Oakley and Josh Weinstein as show creators, is erroneously credited as the first time a man-on-man kiss has been seen in an animated primetime series.
Right.
That male-on-male kiss is actually considered to be the first male-on-male kiss between two men who are established to be in a homosexual relationship.
Right. So it's two gay people kissing in that particular show.
Yes.
Whereas in this one, obviously, Homer is a straight married man.
Yes,
who is only, I think, I wouldn't say attracted to Carl. I think enamored by Carl.
I think he loves him, but not in that way.
Yeah, I would say he's definitely, he finds Carl appealing.
Yes.
Because of his attitude and his, well, he's a nice guy, isn't he? So yeah. But I don't think he has the hots for him.
No. I don't think there's a physical attraction at all.
Yeah.
An attraction of the souls, perhaps.
Perhaps, yes. Yeah. Because he does call Marge Carl.
He does. He does say, I love you, Carl.
Yes. But yeah. Good thing she never caught that.
Yeah, good for the best. Apparently, The show didn't get Harvey Firestein a very nice room to stay in while I recorded these lines.
Yeah, that's shit.
Aye.
I mean, to be fair, it's season 2. They probably didn't have that big a budget.
Still.
So
it's not like they got him an average room. They got him
but also remember, Harvey Firestein's maybe his sort of bar for what a nice room is maybe a little bit too high.
I think this was near the early part of his career as well.
He might have had a couple of cushy jobs before that.
I don't know enough about Harvey Firestein's career.
I don't know either. So
say either way, so I'm just gonna. That's the end of 3 Blind Mice Trivia.
Yeah.
If you want to know why it's called 3 Blind Mice Trivia, go back and listen to season 1, episode 2, Bart the Genius.
Very well plucked from the top of your head there. Because I knew where you were going with it.
I remember.
And I was
all of it. looking
at a blank room.
I remember everything.
No, I'd spaced out. Absolutely nothing. This incredibly full room.
You were in your mind palace,
gone.
Which is a plain white room.
Plain. Very, very plain.
I have a segment for our rarely spoken of meme spot.
Yes.
Only the 3rd time this has ever been brought up on the show.
Yeah.
When Homer asks Lisa what she wants, Lisa says, "An absence of mood swings and some stability in my life." Homer says, "How about a pony?" And she goes, "Okay." That's a recent famous meme.
Yes.
That's really taken off on TikTok and Instagram Reels.
Yes. Yeah.
And did you know that if you go on Instagram and you type in insert brain here pod, you can find us. Follow us on Instagram.
You're really plugging this.
Follow us on Instagram. Maybe by the time this comes out, we'll also be on TikTok. Maybe
Who knows?
we won't.
Who knows?
That's the end.
Depends on how desperate we get.
I'm already there. I'm already very desperate. Please follow this podcast. That's the end of Meme Spot.
Was it just the one? I thought you spotted another one. Nah. Okay, never mind. I imagined it.
Yeah, unless you spotted a meme.
No, I did not. I honestly only spot the memes after you point out that there was a meme in there. And I go, oh shit, so there was.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice any... We're really swinging through these segments.
We really are.
I'm like Spider-Man, swinging from building to building. Did you notice any blunders in this episode, David?
I don't recollect.
Well, you must have been watching it with your eyes shut, because I've got some pre-written down right here.
Very good.
The band in the bathroom that are playing the classical Debussy music.
Yes.
Debussy.
Yeah. Aye.
Whatever.
Pussy music.
They're playing that femboy bussy like a fucking flute.
Jesus.
Are in fact not Simpsons yellow. They're a kind of peach colour like the Futurama characters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Weird stuff.
I sure someone got fired for that blunder. The only other one I have is that Homer's hair is missing in the scene where he charges the hair product to his insurance. Like the little lines that he has.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see why I didn't see that. The only thing I thought of was when Homer got back after getting his hair and Marge was talking to Patty and Selma. And then it sort of zooms in, the shot zooms in on Patty and Selma while Marge is away, sort of greeting Homer.
Yeah. And
she's just said about the fact that he's gotten so frisky lately, and then obviously he's getting a bit frisky in the background because you can hear him. During that time, while they talk, their heads move.
Patty and
Selma's heads move, but their heads never move.
Yeah.
So their face, and theoretically based on the way their face moves, their head is turning, but their hair and the edge that joins to their head doesn't move at all.
Mm-hmm.
So their face moves, but their hair's like moving further away from it's sliding sort of sideways and around on a static sort of face. Chin and stuff moves around, but it was just like the edge of the hairline didn't really.
That's the end of boy, I sure hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Yeah. So,
in conclusion, I feel like we haven't talked enough about Carl.
Oh, I've got something that was really good in the episode.
What's that?
When it zooms out from the bathroom scene with Smithers walking away after slapping down the towel.
Oh, the transition shot.
You got the checker floor,
incredible.
and the transition goes from the check. It's sort of like the camera pans to the right across the checkers, and that checker floor turns into the high-rise building windows.
Yes,
it is an incredibly nice shot. Really, really, really nice shot.
Very, very cool.
Good. Very cool. And it's the kind of shot that you would have seen from like a movie
film.
in that time.
Yeah.
You really would have seen that kind of thing.
Actually, of something that you would have seen in the 90s animated Spider-Man show.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I saw that, I got reminded mostly. I can't even remember what the bloody movie is called. You might remember it. I remember more than anything else the one scene when everyone gets really fucked off at the printer, and they take the printer and they're bashing Office Space.
Yes,
that's that kind of movie, and the way that movie's shot. That's what that reminded me of.
Where it's in a very boring location.
Yeah,
an Office Space.
Yeah.
But it manages to shoot itself and have all these cool transitions to where it feels very visually interesting.
And that kind of really reminded me of that type of movie. But yeah, so I thought it was pretty cool. I really liked that transition. We sort of like fangirled over it.
Yeah,
at the time when we were watching it.
Anyway.
But yeah, so before I interrupted you with the transition, we were talking about Carl. We're going to talk more about Carl.
When you mentioned the transition, it reminded me of another cool camera movement. Mm-hmm. When Homer's down in front of the TV, do that thing again where the camera, quote-unquote camera, pushes in on Homer and past the TV. So the TV moves backward.
Oh, yes.
As if the camera was actually physically moving past the TV and into Homer's face.
Yeah.
It's just a very cool little kind of a
It's some really cool animation going on.
Yeah.
I think they must be getting a bit more freedom to sort of play around with the animation and animation styles and tricks and stuff.
I think there's also not the stress of trying to make that first season.
Yes, trying to make that work after
all the issues we covered last season.
Massive issues, yeah.
But yeah, Carl. Anything to say about Carl? I feel like we haven't really touched on him enough because he is a great character.
He is. I'm incredibly glad that he was the one that got hired, not the blonde one
who was making kissy faces at Homer.
Yes, as he pointed out, every woman that he was trying to interview was just giving him kissy faces.
Yeah. I think the world would be a much better place if everyone could have a Carl, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Someone to help them through their problems and
while also somehow looking incredibly good in a tennis outfit. I think he was in the last time.
He had a cravat on.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was like tennis shorts when he kissed Homer.
In a white jumper. Strange outfit.
Yeah.
But he pulls it off.
Very well. And he is tall. Homer's not particularly short. He's not tall, but he's not particularly short for The Simpsons. And Carl's like up there. When you zoom out and you get a full shot of both of them standing next to each other, Carl's like 7 foot or something.
I don't know, he's 7 foot.
He's
probably
up
like
there.
6 foot.
He's probably 6 he's quite a good, decent height. He's quite a decent height. Yeah, he probably isn't 7 foot because I'm sure at some point you're going to see Homer next to a basketball player at some point. I don't remember.
Well, there's that famous Simpsons character, really tall guy.
Oh, right. Well, there you go. Did not even remember him.
Anything else to add? I think we're good.
I think we're good. Carl was a great character. It was a pretty nice, watchable show. Some really good transitions and some really good animation tricks in there.
Yeah.
It looked great. It looked really full in colour. There was no weird background, wavy,
we've moved
horrible.
Past that.
I'm very glad we're on solid block, very good colour for the backgrounds as well.
This is the good stuff, man.
This is awesome.
All right. Well, I think we can wrap it up there, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Well, this has been Insert Brain Here, a Simpsons podcast. This has been Season 2, Episode 2, Simpson and Delilah. And I've been your host, David. With me was my co-host. That's where you normally say your name.
No, this is where you say my name and I say
you've
goodbye.
You've done it the other way around.
It's never been this way.
It has. I wrote down episodes that this was the case because we had this discussion earlier.
It's never happened.
And there's like 4 episodes or 3 episodes where that happened.
I've been Connor and I always fucking will be.
And I've been David, and
you will continue to be.
Yes.
This has been a T for 22 production.
Thank you.
That's the missing line.
I was going to go with that very shortly.
Follow us on Instagram at InsertBrainHerePod and on Twitter or X or whatever at T422. You can find this podcast on YouTube.
And every single podcast place, basically.
Spotify.
Known to man.
Visit our website.
Yes, we have a website. insertbrainhere.podcastpage.io. Perfect.
Where you'll find every episode of the show. You'll find us.
Yep.
You can get in contact with the show. You can leave a review. You can leave a voice message where you scream obscenities at us. And we'll listen to it.
We will. We will.
Maybe if you leave a good one, we'll even play it on the show. And we'll talk about it. A direct line to us two. Can you fucking believe it? 2 podcasting celebrities like us sitting here talking to you? Can you believe that? That is the world we're living in 2024. I'm going to call it a night and say smell you later.
Smell you later.
Goodbye.
All right.